are
I'm
you?
good. How you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to Pop Your Shit. Listen, I gotta cut. I gotta keep down on the cussing because my daddy in the other room.
I'm gonna try my hardest.
I'm talking about me.
Okay.
But I don't care. He don't care about nobody else. But I be like, oh, here
For
we
sure.
go.
What's that music you was just listening to? Mind your business.
Hmm?
My daddy, I'm like, what music were you just listening to?
You didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear nothing. Well, welcome, ma'am.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm home, so I'm well.
Listen,
Yeah.
and I'm about to be outside. Hopefully,
I know.
safely.
All weekend.
Hopefully,
Hopefully.
safely. Y'all, if y'all don't know this lady that's sitting next to me, she the beautiful. Listen, she got her debut novel out. Huh? 8 days of Christmas? 8 dates of Christmas?
Mhm.
Woo!
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
This
thank
is
you.
Rielle Knight, author.
Yeah.
She's an author, published author, Rielle Knight. Has it set in yet?
Not really, but like there's people who make sure to tell me like author, author. I'm like, okay, I guess that's me.
Ma'am, you are an author. Authoress, however you want to say it. You are that.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing my hardest.
Can I tell you your book was excellent? I enjoyed it.
Nice. I'm
Yes,
so
I did. I did. Look, I even took notes. Where my
happy.
notes at? Where my notes at? What's his name? Kendrick.
Kendrick. Oh
What
man.
is that lady name? Hold on, where's my notes? I'm not mad at myself. Where my notes at? That ain't right. See, that's what happens when you got too much. So Kendrick is a twin, an identical twin to Khalil.
Mhm.
And Shanice
Mhm.
has a best friend named Kennedy.
Yes.
And this is kind of a trauma bonding type of book, a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a
Or
little bit.
releasing of traumas at the same time too. It's
Yeah.
like you it was symbolic in that a lot of times we don't realize that we're trauma bonding.
Mm-hmm.
But when you find a good match in friends and in love, they help you release traumas. So that's what I want to do.
Sometimes that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes another person that's going something through something similar to understand what you're going through so y'all can try and heal together if y'all
Yeah.
want a healthy relationship.
Yes. 100%.
I love it. Um, where do I want to begin? Let's get into it. So Candace lost her mom, and she had all this decorative stuff.
Yeah, so it's funny. Okay, so Shanice lost her mom, and it was interesting because I kind of modeled that a little bit. Like my mom has a lot of Christmas decorations, like a lot. So, but she has so many. Like she, just like in the book where her dad was like, but your mom had themes. She wasn't just tossing stuff up like and putting it all together. So it was just like where she was just like put it all together. Bam! Now my mom's in the room. No, she's not.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Can I tell you I needed him to do more with that his frat brother. I just wanted listen. I'm from the streets. Thank you. I'm from the street. I am from the book streets. Needed
Uh-huh.
to be unalived.
Yes. Okay. But it's contemporary.
I
So
know. I just
in a point I did. Like I was real mad at one point, right? And I kinda did. And it him and Khalil kind of went back and got like Khalil best friend. And then there was a whole mission. And then he was gone. But then I was like, wait, that's further than I'm supposed to be going with this a contemporary book. Let me reel it back in.
right,
Okay, so
right.
he got to go after her because as much as he was mad at him for what he did, at the end of the day, she just standing in this parking lot by herself, like outwardly upset, right? So I can deal with you later, but she's most important right now.
So is there gonna be a book two?
For this one,
Not for them, but for a
oh
spinoff
yes,
with the other twin.
Khalil and Kennedy. Yes, it is Island of Us, and that will be towards the end of March. Hopefully, that's my goal. I'm breezing through it now. The beginning of books is always hard because you have to learn the characters individually, and because it's a standalone but interconnected series, I had to figure out how to thank you guys how to introduce the characters, not boring people who've already heard them before and know kind of how everything started, but still not making people who haven't read the first book confused as to where it came from.
Right.
That was
So,
difficult.
okay, just a curious question. I'm gonna take you off course just a bit.
Oh,
What have you learned so far about being an author?
a lot. Um, First thing is just to write it. I think I'm a person just in general who struggles with self doubt, and I know perfection is not possible, but sometimes it feels like if I just do a little bit more, if I just do a little bit more, if I just do a little bit more, this book is never coming out.
Right.
So I had to learn how to release and how to just love the story as it is.
Because to me, you can always do another little novella like an update.
I could.
I
And
mean,
it's
you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's done if you don't want it to be done. You can always give us some updates because I really love this couple.
they're in IOU a little bit.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's about the same amount, but there's a possibility for more for them. Because I really did enjoy them too. Like it was just they were so special to me.
So her telling him about her unfortunate illness,
Mhm.
and I don't want to give it away because I think people really need to read it. I don't think it's, I mean, even though it's a Christmas book and it's about Christmas a little bit, it's really more so about the relationship and how they have to heal through this holiday period.
Mhm.
Um, that was tough. And I loved it because it was tough. It was a tough conversation. And sometimes people need to have those tough conversations, and you showed it in your writing. And I loved it.
Thank you. Um, yeah, it was tough to write. There were times when I had to sit back and like just go do something fluffy, or like do something fun. Hey, Blossom. And I think that's why the humor that's laid into that book was so important because, and even me as a person, just in general, I'm a joke. Everything, everything is, things in life are hard, but I feel like we as a people in general, like make light of everything, even when things are really, really sad. So
Right.
that was one thing that I really wanted to incorporate into this book. So that it was tough, but I don't want to say I enjoyed writing it, but I enjoyed writing a special moment between them.
But I think sometimes, let me tell you why I loved it so much. Even though the conversation was, the subject matter was grim, um, and that you showed how to do it, I hope that somebody takes something from it. It
Yes.
was such a teachable moment, where you can say, "Hey, I'm interested in you. You guys are getting ready to be closer. You guys are making your headway. But let me make sure that I tell you what's up." Because sometimes we wait for so long, and then they feel, you want people to be able to make a decision whether they want to be with you or not, and not trap you into it. And I don't, that wasn't the case. And that's why I loved it so much. It wasn't a trapping. It was, if you really like me, you're going to have to deal with this because I can't.
I can't do nothing about it. I can't do anything about it. So yeah.
And
It-
I love the moment. And I hate that these were the hard moments, but these are the moments that I love. Is when she said, "I need a minute.
yeah.
I need a minute." And she broke. She
Hmm.
not broke in front of him, but she had to go and release by herself. And sometimes you got to have that minute. But I loved how he was like, "I don't know how to fix it." And he was asking around,
Please help me, please.
"Help me, please, because I really want her."
Yeah.
I love that moment that she was able to break.
Yeah.
You could see, even though it was very traumatic, but she broke, and then he tried to piece her back together. Not in a sense, but he said, okay, let me figure out how I can and get ideas from her family and his sister and whomever. It was such a beautiful moment. I really, really love that. I appreciate you writing that, because I think sometimes we want to see the bang, boom, bang, and not the work it takes to fix it.
Yeah. And with that, it's just important. I feel like sometimes we deny ourselves our emotions. And I know I'm guilty of it, right? Um but I wanted her to allow herself to feel, because
Mm-hmm.
especially in grief, sometimes we're focusing so hard on pushing forward for the next day, on pushing forward for the next week, on trying to remember this person, on trying not to remember they're gone, that we forget that we have the right to feel ourselves. So that's what made that scene right there special for me,
Yeah.
because it allowed her to feel. Did she, it was hard. I cried. I feel like I think I like our writers chat. I feel like in there I was like, well, she needs just her whole house. Like, like I needed a minute after that one. That one was really hard for me more than anything else, because as I said in the beginning of the book, I struggle with my own loss and stuff. So it allowed me to also, through her, feel.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. So I know you are an avid reader,
I am.
and I'm going to ask you some questions because I know you only have this one book out yet that we all know about. You might your group might know what's going on, but I don't.
A lot of stuff happening.
So we're gonna ask you a few questions about a few books that you've read, maybe, possibly, just kind of get your take of what kind of person you are. So, what was the last book you read? What's the current book you're reading? And what's next?
Um, the very last book I read was I accidentally hooked up with a vampire. I read that.
Okay.
Currently, where I actually just bought it today, and it's about banned library Maggie.
Maggie Gray.
No, not Maggie Gray. It's a different book. I literally just bought it today, and I started reading it on the train. I'm trying to find it. But okay, all right. So it's a book. It's a book about a girl who went to go visit her friend. While she's taking care of while she's on maternity leave, and she's taking care of her library. But it's like the library of banned books. It's pretty cool. I picked it up at the bookstore today because I saw it and I liked it. So
And what do you hope to read next?
what I hope to read next is, and I know I should have read this book already, but All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby.
First
I
of all, I haven't
haven't
read it yet either, but that is on my list. When I go on hiatus from Pop Your Shit,
yeah.
I think I'm going on hiatus in July. I'm going to take the opportunity to read all the books that I haven't been able to get to, because I'm trying to read something from everybody's catalog. Thank
It's
you.
it's so hard,
It is.
especially
It is
because you're
hard.
writing now too. So it's difficult to, one, write and not feel like you're being influenced by the books that you're reading at this current moment. So I try to read things that are not in the same genre that I'm currently writing.
Yeah.
Because I really want to read Blood and Brujas. I started it and then I was like, wait, I can't do this because it's kind of like fantasy. So I need to wait.
But I think for me, like I'm getting ready to start writing. I'm gonna have to read in a totally different genre.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all know, but I signed on to do a novella.
Okay. We love it.
I don't know if we love it, but I started writing already, but I'm going to, while I'm in Atlanta for the next 3 weeks, I'm gonna really focus on it because I don't have to do the home stuff.
Okay. That makes sense.
So You know, in addition to all the other thousand things I'll be trying to do. Um, book boyfriends, book husbands. Okay, who's your book boyfriend?
Hey, Rome is always gonna be Bay.
From Only for the Week.
Only for the week.
Book boyfriend
Book boyfriend. What's his name?
and tell the book.
Shane is kind of, like I can't.
We no. He for me.
I knew you was gonna say that, but like I can't. Shane.
We can we. I mean, he can have more than one girlfriend, I guess.
In the book, it looked like he can handle it. So
listen, I got 5 husbands, 1 book boyfriend. Shane is my book boyfriend, and I slide with everybody.
yeah.
But I think, huh?
Domino from I Accidentally Hooked Up with a Vampire. He coming up there. I can't wait for y'all to read the book. I'm sorry, but the Domino is.
I think I'm gonna add Kendrick to book boyfriend. I
I
like him.
like Kendrick. I like Khalil too. Kendrick is attentive. He is very outwardly attentive, and he's paying attention. He's paying attention, and his brother is so much like him. And I know thank you. I know he be joking and laughing, and he's real funny. But internally, that man is so serious and pays attention to every little thing. So I can't.
And that's why I said he could be a book boyfriend. Him and Shane are book boyfriends. I've been rocking. Okay, so my book husbands are Ezra Okafor from Ethic, Moth to a Flame, Butterfly. He's always been my book husband. Santiago Wellington from Doctor's Orders, Product of the Streets.
Yeah.
Ian Nevin Law from Product of the Streets. He's going to always listen. I need to know what that Jacob Slider's about. It's the I don't know how to. It's his arrogance, not so much arrogance, but maybe confidence, and his aggression. For me,
remind me. I saw the TikTok where like the dude came up behind his wife and just like came the back and then the neck and then just he kind of reminded me of that.
Right? So
even this Jacob's Ladder, right?
Girl, what I tell you, I need to know what that's about. Like, before I leave this earth, somebody gonna have something. Somebody's gonna have something. So I think that's for me. And I slide with a lot of people. I slide with a whole lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just the book Jezebel.
If I make it to the end, I'm probably sliding with that man.
Too funny. So that's and who you sliding with before we go?
Again, if I make it to the end of the book, then I'm probably Hugh. Okay, Hugh. Okay, and I have to. Okay, so this man, his name. I can't say his name because he got the same name as my daddy, but I call him Devontis from I'll Be Yours. Malik. From like there are so many. Cameron from Denise's book. He like 630 D's. He real quiet a little bit, but then the stuff that man, yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a whole bunch of people.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, the list is long.
The list is, listen, my list so long, I'm not going to even go into who I'm sliding with. Just know, I'd have probably been there. I've probably been in that, but I probably did that.
Yeah.
So, I am a fan of good writing. So let me ask you a question. Speaking of good writing, every so often we got these clickbaiters who wants to charge up the Black book community. What's your take on all of that?
My take is that it's not fair that I can't respond to it because I'm an author now because I have words.
Ooh.
It's real easy for people to say what they could have, should have, would have done, but until you've picked up a pen or put your fingers on that keyboard, it's real It's real easy to say because I even myself before, when I was just reading, before I started writing, I caught myself, like, I think back on moments where I was like, oh, this would have been cooler if it went this way or if it went that way. But at the end of the day, this is the story that the author told. So either I'm enjoying the story that the author told or I'm going to write my own.
Point blank, period. And that's one of the response video I saw was from author Darlene Cunningham. When she said, when the lady was talking about, you got to bring it 10 times harder. And, we work 10 times harder, but you got to bring it. She was like, well, where's your book? Can I find it on Amazon?
Just trying to figure it out.
Where your book at? While you over here talking about what the authors need to do? Where is your book?
I think we have a hard enough job, and that so many of us go through enough moments of self-doubt without having to see that constantly. And the thing that saddens me the most is that it's us against us, and it makes no fucking sense. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. I already have to do all of the marketing. I already have to write the book. I already have to edit it several times before it can even go to the editor. I have to do my own market research to figure out what to put on the cover. I illustrate, I draw, right? So then I have to draw the cover myself if I want to, unless I want to pay XYZ amount for it. And I have paid for stuff that I can't even use because it doesn't work. There are so many things that we have to do. And then I have to put the book out and hope and pray, hide under a cover and hope that somebody don't come out here and flame me because they don't like it, instead of them just putting it down. No one is forcing you to finish it.
Exactly. Nobody's asking you to read it.
I've got a lot of books, because then I realized it's not for me. I am not the target audience. If I don't like it because it is racially charging, disrespectful to a people, that's a different thing, right? But if I don't like it just because it's just not, I don't click with it, I don't vibe for it, I'm gonna just put it to the side.
This is, and well, I'm not an author yet, so I'm gonna give you my hot take. So here we go. So this is my take. If you don't like it, don't read it. If that's not for you, then don't read it. We have there's other authors in this world. Just because we like it don't mean that you do. What you may like, I may not like. What I may like, you may not like. It is okay. But when you come after an author and say what the struggle is, because again, we all know that anything that we do, whether it's work, whether it's school, whether it's going to the grocery store, whatever it is, we always got to be 10 times better so that we can just even compete.
Yeah.
We the smartest people on this earth. And for you to get on this here Kendrick Lamar internet and say, you gotta the character development was there and the plot was there, but you gotta bring it. Ma'am, I need you to write a book and let me read it.
And then the problem is, on top of that, like, I will sit and listen to how people talk about indie authors versus traditionally published authors, and I'm like, that book was ass. Like, not even trying to be like funny about it, but like, you're reading Black characters by people who, one, don't even have Black friends to be able to reference them. You have books that go instantly viral and become bestsellers because, there's a Black woman on the cover. We like, oh, let me read this because it wasn't written by us. And when you read it, it sounds like that. So this series right here, the Crave series, it was one of the first like YA paranormal kind of series that I read when I got started reading again, which is also controversial because there's other stuff going on with that. But there is one main kind of like, there's the Black characters in that. I don't care if I spoil it, whatever. One of them is like low-key scheming, and then the other one almost died like 17 times, and he doesn't read anything but a white boy drawn in brown crayon. There is no culture, no history, no nothing. Like, they just the same, and you describe them and say they got locks and they supposed to be Black just because they got locks and brown skin. Get out of here, bro. So, like, the fact that is the case and those books do so much better versus, someone like me, like in my book, like there's, and I've had so many hard moments about this because AAVE inside of the dialogue is something that's very important to me because that's how I speak. Like I'm from Chicago area, so like R, when we're talking, we don't have the word R in there like that. So you're going to get that dynamic and realistic experience, but it's like it's hard because I'm always nervous, right? Like somebody's gonna be mad because this isn't grammatically correct. Somebody's gonna be mad because of this and that. But that's just I wanted it to feel realistic.
Exactly.
That's what I love about our books. And I know people, they have all these hot takes about like urban books but like don't read it. If you don't like it, do not read it. There are so many authors in contemporary and other genres who you can read. If that's not for you, then read something else. And that's okay. Like if you don't like it, you don't have to read something just because it's popular in book talk. There is no keeping up with the Joneses when it comes to your mind and what you are ingesting into your spirit. Do what feeds you.
And that's that. And that is that. So moving on, I just wanted to get your take on it because sometimes I know I'll be doing some talking. I know I say a lot and I be 50 watt hot a lot of times. But the answer is so simple. Scroll on if you don't like what I'm saying. Don't read it if you don't like what's written. But because we are of a particular skin tone, you and we're not bothering anyone.
Yeah.
We're not going ham in our books about y'all. We just write about us and our experiences.
Yeah.
And you just don't want to see any happiness over here. You want us to struggle. You want us to be upset. And that is not the case.
Those are
And
the books that go the biggest is black struggle.
exactly. And it's not always, let me tell you something. Urban fiction is not always about pedophilia. Urban fiction is not always about struggle love. Urban fiction is a setting.
I've said this many times, and I'll say it on live, and I don't care. You got them people out there fucking forks, ghosts, and doorknobs. Shut up.
Woo! Message.
So, but I love urban. I don't write urban fiction. I don't write because it's not something that I have a capability to do. It's writing as a muscle is something you have to get better at and work on. But that don't mean I don't read it because I do.
And enjoy it.
Damn.
I'm just saying, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So anyway, when you first saw your name on the cover of the book,
man,
the first time, how was that?
This right here, like the proof. When I held this, I feel like I sent the picture to like all of my everybody I knew. I had it. I was in the car. Hey Tylee. Hey Tylee. But I felt like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. I didn't have words, the emotions, and I know it's my pen name. This isn't my last name, but like it's special for the very first time to hold this in my hands and know that our firstborn love child.
Exactly.
To know that I did this. Because I struggle really hard, like putting myself out there. This is probably the most comfortable I've been on any like interview, like, panel so far. Because it's tough. I'm a super introvert. I have really bad anxiety. Like I have a lot
but
of
it's
things.
just me.
I know, but it's just in general. So like, this just shows me my growth. It shows me my growth. And this just started off as a story. Like it started off as a very small story, just me just talking. And then I always say, this wouldn't happen if Nina wasn't like, you writing the book. She was like 12 days of, Black Christmas. And it was just like, you doing it. Anytime I was like, I don't know, they like, you doing it. So it was.
But that to me means they see something in you
You don't know how many times I was like, this book is stupid. All y'all are lying to me. It's not that good. It's bad. Like, I know. I'm really, really hard on myself. I'm really, and I have to work on that. But she did. But that's my own, that's a me problem. It's a me problem. But I'm proud of this.
As
Yeah.
you should be.
I'm
But
proud
I
of
don't
myself.
want you to be so hard on yourself because guess what? It's a whole lot of people that want to write, that be trying to write and can't write, and you did it and succeeded.
I'm proud of me. I'm
As
proud.
you should be. As you should be.
Yeah.
All right. What made you write about Christmas? What made you make this your first book? Because I know you were working on something else.
I have a couple of other books. I have my fantasy book, and the thing was, when I first started writing this, I was really sad because that fantasy book, I've poured my entire life soul into that. I cannot wait for you guys to read it. And I was really sad because there's just so many things that have gone wrong with it. So many things that have gone wrong, and Christmas didn't. It didn't feel the same because of a lot of different things, but when they said we were doing Christmas books, I was like, I'm going all Christmas, the whole thing, figured it out. Like initially this was going to be like truly 8 dates of Christmas, but then I was like, nah, I'm making this an Easter egg. It is still coming out this year. It'll be out before the summer. I was like, I'm making this an Easter egg, and the 8 dates of Christmas isn't actually they're going on 8 dates, but it's because of something else in the story, like because So that was a nice realization moment because this book was about to be about 97 million words long until I figured out how to shorten it. But yeah, once they said, the Christmas book, and it was like I was really sad because I really wanted. It was my own goal, like turning 35. I'm like, I really wanted to do something for myself, and this was for me. I do so much for my family and my friends, and I'm always giving, and I wanted to take a little bit back for me, and that's yeah.
But that's the form of favor right there.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get because I'll get to preaching. I was preaching yesterday, so I'm gonna step back from preaching
because there was a couple of times where I was like, Kendrick. I was like, I'm not trying to make him preach too much in this book. Like, I'll put in there that this, and then we can. Oh my god. And then we can move on from it. But yeah.
I'm proud of you. Super duper proud. Super duper 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 proud of you. Because I saw when you first started. I wasn't in on the whole thing, but I saw when you first started. I saw you struggling a little bit. I saw you asking questions. I saw the work.
I wanted it to happen.
But you did.
Yeah, I did.
That's the thing. It happened. So now you can just move on and say, I already did that. I already did the hard part.
Yes,
let's move along.
Yes, I did. And I am. I have some. I got a lot of things happening this year. I'm not gonna make promises, but there, we have Kendrick and Shanice are done, and we have, Khalil and Kennedy, and then we have the fantasy book, and then there may or may not, right after that be a romantasy, because the fantasy book isn't a romantasy. Okay, specifically, it is an urban high fantasy. But there may or may not be a romantasy that comes out after that, and then we'll see what happens.
I have a question. How hard is it to write a fantasy book? Because I love to read them, but that is not my zhuzh.
Yeah, so I think the hardest part is making up your mind. It's making up your mind and figuring out how far you want to go into the fantasy world, right? Because there's different levels you can do. You can do just magical realism, right? Like Tati's book with the glasses. You can have magical realism in there, where it still feels like you're involved in the current world, but there are magical elements to it. Mm-hmm. And then you can go to like urban fantasy, right? Where urban fantasy, the world building on that isn't as difficult because it's usually set in like current times in a city. Oftentimes, like maybe They just live in the same world we do, and we don't know that they're there. So we don't necessarily have to build out an entire universe or a different realm. There is also middle fantasy that goes kind of in between, where you're building out a little bit and then building a little bit more on the magic system. There's more rules established. Then you have high fantasy, where it's also in another world, another realm, another dimension, whatever you want to call it. And it involves a lot more magic rules. There's politics, politics and government. There is religion, currency. It's yeah. It takes a lot to do it, but I definitely think, like Isla said, like world building is the hardest part, because if you're constantly changing the way that the world is, you can never truly let the people live inside of it. You can't make it lived in. You can't describe it as a lived in place if you don't even know what it is. Right? So that to me is what I would say is the hardest part, figuring out how developed you want the magic to be. And then after that, building your world and keeping your world as is so that you can write the story.
Okay, so when creating a fantasy, do you have to have an outline, because you got to keep all these facts together? Is it easier to outline for a fantasy versus contemporary romance?
I don't outline. I'm not an outliner. I am
Crush
100%.
my pearl.
I am a person, and hopefully that was shown in 8 Days of Christmas. I'm a person where I have to see it to be able to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm writing, I'm literally typing exactly what I see in my mind onto the paper.
So it's like a movie in your head?
It's a movie in my head, and then as I sit down and write, I might read a couple pages of what I had before, and then if those characters are talking to me, they're like, all right, we're gonna do this, we're gonna go. With a series though, which is what Remembering the Aurealis is, with the series I kind of had to have a baseline. Like I have notes. I do have notes. They stray, but I have a notes on what kind of has to happen within this book, so that XYZ can happen in book 2 and XYZ can happen in book 3. But I do I do World Bible. So I make sure that I notate each chapter. I write down characters, what they were described as in the beginning of the book, what their magic is described as, for each one that comes along. And how, and also because it's multi POV, I also had to write down how each that has to be coded between how Leilani sees it and how her mom sees it, and how other characters who may also have a POV that I have not mentioned yet see it in the story, so that that's consistent. And it also has to be like Leilani, sign language is really important to her for reasons that are told in the story. And it also, like, she loves fashion. She loves, kind of wants to do, like, we all got a side gig and like design dresses. So when she sees dresses, she's like, or clothes, that's exciting to her. There are other things that are exciting to her mom. There are other things that are exciting to other characters. And it's important to build that in, even in regular stories. The chapter when Shanice walked into Kendrick's apartment and she just started cataloging what was in there, I forgot that I made her an interior designer. And that was literally just her in my mind talking about how she would experience walking into his house for the first time and cataloging stuff like an interior designer would. And afterward, I was like, dang, I forgot she was an interior designer. Like, why did I just describe all that? Because it matters to her.
Right.
So,
girl, let me tell you something. I learned something from every author that comes on this platform. I don't know if that's the gift that God is gonna give me. I don't think so. I'm not a outliner per se, but I again, like you, I take notes, um, just so that I make sure that their point of views are not conflicting. Because
Mhm.
if it's multiple POVs, like this is the book I'm writing is based on a family, and they are two of them are brothers, and the other two guys are best friends. They're four guys, well, five guys, six, because it's a family and it's a big family. So even though that they'll get their own book, they still play throughout the book,
Yeah.
the other people's books. So
What I would say to that is for your characters, um, it can be just a page, right? But it's also important to know your characters.
right,
So even down to the details like what they do for fun. Because as you're especially if you're doing multi POV. If you're doing multi POV, it's important to you live in that character. And I think that those are the books that I love the most when I can tell without even looking at dialogue tags who's talking because
mm-hmm.
I can feel their personality coming through. So I would say to have like your own little page where you just talk about the characters, name a random thing that happened to them as a kid. Because you know how we like, my hair would be like down my back if my mama didn't take me to that one dude in third grade and he cut off all my hair. That's a realistic trait. I mean, that was me. But like I, it's just something where it's something funny for them that
Mm-hmm.
you're going to remember and it's going to stick and it might even come up in the story. So
Yeah, yeah. I've been working on it. I've This story is so old. It's been in my laptop since 2018,
perfect,
2019.
perfect
So
time.
we gonna move some things around, but we're not. It's not about me. This is about you. So, um, in your mind, what are the ingredients to a good character?
Um, Knowing who they are, right? I think that depth is very important to characters to have a good character. Not everyone is happy, and even me, like I seem real happy on the top, but like my friends know, like it gets dark sometimes. um know what their strengths are, know what their weaknesses are, know what makes them tick, know what they like, know what they don't like, because then they don't if you don't know. So, and to make them strong in their strengths and their weaknesses be a vulnerability that also make them strong. So those are things that I like personally.
Okay, okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. Um, was it hard for you when writing to humanize characters? Because sometimes people can tell us about a character, but they cannot humanize them. And you seem to have humanized your characters.
Yeah. Um, it wasn't difficult for me. I think it was difficult to let go afterward. And I know like Denise, like she brought I was talking we were talking about this before, where it's like writing in first person, you have to be so involved with this character. You have to be them for as long as you're writing this character. You get so attached to them. They become like family to you. So I I pretended I was them. So that's how I tried to humanize them. Like I was saying before, with like the strengths and the weaknesses. I thought about myself and I got to know myself for a little bit on this same list that I do for my characters. And then I realized where things were connected and how that made me who I am. And then I took those realizations about myself and the descriptions that I made of the characters to build them into people who felt real.
Is it easier to write first or third person? What's easier for you, first or third?
Oh, but it no.
You never read third person before?
I have written chapters in third person, but I've never written a book. All I want to say all 8 books right now that I kind of have in the chamber are written in first person, and which is strange. And I know it's an aversion to some people, but I write in first person present. Which is, I know not everybody likes first person present. That's okay. I like it.
But it don't matter what everybody likes.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I like it. And I have to write the book that I like because I'm the one sitting here for months working on writing it and editing it and then having to sell it.
Right.
First person present forever. There we go, Nina.
So I have several books, several book ideas. Some of them I feel like should be first person present. Some I feel like should be third person. Some I feel like it should be maybe something in the past. It should be first person and third person, depending upon. I just don't want to confuse the reader, so I just have to make up my mind. So again, let me move along.
Hey, here's the thing: readers are going to be confused anyway. When we go into a book, most of us. We write these real nice blurbs and synopsis, but like, who reads them? So I want to know the percentage. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is pretty. I'm gonna pick it up. Or I like this book that they wrote, so I'm gonna try it. And then I started. You can see right away what is written in. Right away. Mm-hmm. Third person for me is more difficult to read, depending on who it's written by. Because
not everybody can write in third person.
Not everyone can write in third person. But that's the thing. A lot of people do write in third person, and it is difficult to read it. That a lot of people will say that it's difficult to read third person, and I think that it's difficult to read third person if third person is not written well, and if there's like a lot of head hopping and confusion on what you're doing right now. But I still like third person. I think that there are lots of stories that could do really well in third person. See, third person is tough for me.
I think I write better third person, and the reason why is because for me, I feel like I keep better track of what's going on with that person. Mm-hmm. When I'm writing in the point of view, say one of my character's name is Lance. When I'm writing in Lance's point of view, I don't confuse Jalen's point of view with his.
Okay,
but that's me. That's the way Nicole's brain thinks. But I want to be able to write dually, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Dual POV.
I want to be able to do both. Huh?
It's tough, but it's fun. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so fun. Multi POV is harder, but also fun. I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on the fantasy. Like it is my little baby. It is my heart and soul and joy. And I love this book. Absolutely. It's the first book that the world got to see from me. But
So the fantasy book is coming out this year.
100%. I don't care what happens. I'm putting it out because I said so.
I heard that. All right. Let's ask a few things about you. What is one thing that you will always include in your books?
Pain.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What would your readers be shocked to know about you?
I'm not gonna say it because I'm shy, because everybody know that. Like that's duh.
Well, I don't want what we know. I know.
I'm trying to think what people would be. I've been dancing since I was a little kid.
Kind of dance.
Contemporary. I mean, I danced in church too, but contemporary is my favorite. So that I tried cheer. It wasn't for me, but dance is like I love dancing. It is, yeah. So
I don't know if you guys would think this would be shocking, but I was a cheerleader.
You were. I can see that.
Can you?
I can see that.
I was a cheerleader for middle school, high school.
Okay. I danced in college too. That was fun.
In college, I was outside.
I was outside too. That was the problem. I never slept.
I don't see how y'all see that. I don't feel like nobody would know because right now I got two left feet. Like all my rhythm left.
But the thing, but low key, I'm not I'm not hating on cheerleaders, but like rhythm leaves the door as soon as you become a cheerleader.
No,
There's
but no, I had rhythm afterwards. It's just like when I became, let me tell you when rhythm left me. Rhythm left me when my granddaughter was born.
okay.
And
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
So
I
you gotta teach
don't
her. What do you
know.
mean?
Huh?
You gotta teach her.
Oh no, she teaching me. She is listen, Miss London is 12.
Okay.
And she is teaching Nana everything. So
Okay.
don't know. I just kind of. I mean, I can do the two step and I can do some Oakland dances, but
Okay.
I can't really dance like I used to.
Okay.
Um, what hate to see you coming?
What hates to see me coming? Um, you know how you have answers in your head before you do something, and poof, fairy dust. That's exactly what just happened. What hates to see me coming is I'm trying to think. Gum, because I chew gum all the time. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. My kids, they have gum. Mama eats the kids gum. So
Listen,
gum
it's
and coffee.
gum and coffee. Okay, okay. Describe yourself in one word.
Growing.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Um, define your idea of the great American novel
For who? Us?
for you.
Oh, I think it's something. The Great American Novel for me would be something that encyclopedia. I can hear you going. I can hear you going. Um, I think that it's something that resonates with me and something I cannot stop thinking about. That for me it's something I can't stop thinking about.
Do you
And
have a book in mind
do I have a book in mind?
that you would consider a great American? Now, see, for me, like I have several. I would think something like Demon's Dream because we still talking about it. Um, I like Only for the Week. I think that is a great American novel
Only for
for
the week.
for me. Um, I'm going to say um, there's a book called The American Marriage. I read that book 4 years ago, and it's still in my mind today.
Okay. Book is kind of like fiction, nonfiction,
It's
but
okay.
the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is a book that will never leave my spirit. It is something that I continuously think about, and it wasn't written by us. And kind of it's one of the things that after I read it later, it I understood how like controversial it was, but like for the person to write it who read it, but the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks is was one of the most painfully beautiful stories that I've ever read in my life. I read it in college, and because I'm minored in sociology, and that was just one of the books that was important. And I've thought about that book, and I've read it so many times since I got it in 2010. Um, Her story is our story,
Mhm.
where we are innovators and we change the landscape of technology, of medicine, of agriculture, of literature, of life. And then it's swept under the rug like we didn't do it. And then we aren't compensated for the contributions. And then it's pushed so far back into people's mind where they don't even know why it's called the Gila. So, Yeah.
I like that. Because let me say something. The Great American Novel doesn't have to be a black book. But the reason why I ask that question is because I feel like they exclude us a lot in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's important for us to think in terms of what we think now.
Yeah.
And that's a question that I often wonder, how do you feel about that? Um,
Real was another one for me, low key, like by Kennedy Ryan. I read that book when it was first, when it was independently published. That was one of the I read that book when it first came out. It was one of the very first like black romance novels as an adult kind of that I read.
mhm,
That talked about us. Because a lot of the times we write stories and it's just not about us. And that, a whole
mhm.
different story. But Real was beautiful. And I was like, it in plays? We in plays and you writing about that and then the love there? Like it was I love that story. And I found it today at the bookstore. It wasn't obviously the original one, but I saw it and I was like, I want it. And I bought
Now,
it.
see, I feel that way about Before I Let Go. And the reason why is because I felt like when I read it, I felt like I was really infringing on somebody's life.
Yeah, I can see that.
I really
Also,
felt like I was a fly on the wall in somebody's life because the trauma that she experienced, okay, we're splitting up because they couldn't get past it, and then him trying to date and her having to deal with it, and then trying to date and then realizing, hey, that's not who I want. You're my person
yeah,
still.
yeah,
That to me is and it didn't have to end that way, but whatever way it ended,
she had it. That was the ending.
but it still resonated.
Yeah,
So I feel like she to me is one of those writers. Like it's so many um people of color that I would consider a great American author. Like I feel like, and people, I said this yesterday that I felt like Quan. He's I don't know if you know him, but he's street lit from back in the 78, 90s, 2000s, and he
yeah,
wrote a book. He wrote a series called Animal. Animal was batshit crazy, but he took us from inception to him now and the trauma that he had to endure of his parents, him being on his own, him trying to figure out if he was going to be a rapper, if he was going to be a contract unaliver.
yeah,
It just was everything. And then when he found the love of his life, and then she was tragically taken away, and then the kid was kidnapped. It was, what I tell you, it was a lot, but it still is somebody's reality.
it is somebody's reality, and that's what makes me so upset about when people talk crap about urban fiction. Is because that's somebody's life for real. And I understand if that's not anything that you've ever lived or anything that you've ever walked in, but don't like that. Those are people. It may not be the person who wrote this book, but people who are reading it are resonating it with their life experiences. So for you to say
Right.
that, like it's their life, and when it comes, I know a lot of people like Kennedy Ryan. They like, oh, I'm leaving, I'm done. But she's an amazing writer. I think that there's a lot of one thing that makes us angry is that that's the only person they know. They only know Kennedy Ryan. They only know Tia Williams. And the reality is, like, there are publishers who will say, like, oh, well, these are the books that'll sell. Nah, y'all wrong.
No, it's not.
Those are the books that'll sell to them. But the thing is, we have money too, and our money spends more than anybody else's money. So if you were smart, you would think about how those books are selling, how Black Panther sold, right? You would think about how, like, The Little Mermaid sold, because we show up for ourselves. Like, we want to see ourselves. And when you don't show us, you're missing out on money.
Jacquel J, when she was on here, she said that she shot Capone and Capadonna to several publishers, and they shot her down.
I mean, same thing. So Jessica Cage, I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. Exact same thing. They said no.
And guess what? Guess what they doing? wearing out these internet streets.
So it's really frustrating. I feel we don't get the chance. We don't even get our foot through the door to prove that this is something that will sell. Because the thing is, if I saw more of myself on a bookshelf, you know how many I'll buy? I went in there, I was like, oh, I don't know who this lady is, but she black. And it's black on the cover. And sometimes I just want to read about similar experiences. I mean, obviously I read diversely. Like I read lots of stuff up here isn't by a black author and it's not black characters. I read whatever I feel like reading, whatever seems interesting to me. But there is something special about stories that I feel like I can resonate with. And if they just only gave us the opportunity to have more, they could make more money.
But they think we don't know. But okay, I digress. Um, a few more questions. Name something that everybody loves but you hate.
Oh, everybody loves, but I hate. I don't really hate much. Um, See, everybody hate okra.
I hate okra.
They're nasty. Um, I can't. I honestly can't. I like a lot. Everybody love it. I hate. I don't like sushi.
Me neither.
I don't like sushi. It's okay. I've tried it in lots of different ways. It's not for me.
That's funny. Um, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself everywhere.
Claim it. Claim it. Manifest it.
And whatever I know me and Beauty probably we have the same goal, I think, where it's like we want to write in every genre. How do I know which one is the best one for me if I don't try it?
That part.
So, like I see myself. I have my books kind of split up by genre on my shelf. I see a book of mine in each section of my bookshelf.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Blank, fill in the blank, is life.
Change.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. My pen is
Ever evolving.
I like that. I like that. You're not getting ready to put me in no box.
Nope. I don't like it. It's too tight.
I love that. If you could collaborate with any author, who would it be?
Ooh. I don't know. I don't know.
You could pick more than one.
I mean, I really want to collaborate with my friends. That's something that's gonna end up happening. Because
As it should.
they're all special. But somebody I don't know. Hey, Loki, Camilla Cole. She wrote So Let Them Burn.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sapphic. Oh, her.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Put
that
it out there in the universe.
for various reasons. But yeah.
Yeah, we can put that out there in the universe. I love that. My favorite question. 5 people, not 5 people, 5 authors or writers
Okay.
to dinner, dead or alive. Who would they be?
Hey, number one is this man. I ain't even got a cover on this book. Eric Drum Dickey. I've read this so much, it don't even have a cover on it.
Which book is that?
The Other Woman.
Okay.
This was one of the first books that I read by a male writer. First of all, he's flame, off the board. Eric Drum Dickey for sure. who else? Keita Brunson, Abbott Elementary. Because I low key want to write a book that's like sneaky in second person sometimes, and I want to kind of know how she did it. I guess if I just said it, it's not low key. But I want to write a book where there are moments, and it's just like, you see this shit? Like, so I love her. I love Abbott Elementary. That is a classic to me. It elevates us. Like, I know we all love The Office and Parks and Recreation and stories like that, but that's us. So it kind of hits a little bit different. And then Gregory and Janine, they little romance too. Like,
I love them.
I love them so much. Ava is one of my favorite people on the planet. Oh my gosh, I love Ava. She is so perfectly annoying and self-centered. So her, Eric Jerome Dickey, Alexandria House. That woman.
First of all, listen, Uncle Lee Chester is my favorite character. He had the least amount of time, but he made the most impact.
So much impact. So much impact, right? So I say her. Jessica Cage.
I like that.
And I say her because I feel like that's a realistic one. And she's written for so long, and she gives and pours so much into people, and she's helped me so much. Yeah. And then okay, this one might be probably not expected. Mildred Taylor, Roll Up Under My Cry, and only because like how much they tried to ban this book because of how difficult some of the topics are inside of it. This is one of the very first books that I read about like race as a child, right? So I want to know how she was brave enough to do this and how she can sit back and see her work constantly torn apart. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good list. I'm so interested. I don't mind catering. I don't mind serving. I don't mind being the bartender. I can do all of those things. I just want to hear the conversation. I don't mind being the fly on the wall. I just need to be in on the conversation because I think it would be interesting.
Yeah. There's different genres. Like, yeah.
The conversation that would go on. I always like to.
That could be the chair.
Listen, I just want to be in the know. I just want to be in the number that I could just serve. I can be the coordinator. Whatever it is you need me to do, I can do it. I know how to cook.
What about you? You got your list today? Because I know yours change all the time.
Mine change weekly. So this week, I'm going to say Eric Jerome Dickey. I had another author on there, but he's banned out my life. I wanted to know how he wrote Leslie, but we're not talking about him anymore. But Leslie was one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Eric Jerome Dickey, because his writing is superb. Quan.
Okay.
I think he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
And for a man to put on paper feelings, I think is difficult in by itself because men are not emotional. And I don't think that he's emotional, but I think he's a master at putting it down on paper.
Yeah.
And I would want to learn. Elin Harris.
Okay.
Because he made it okay to put it on paper.
Yeah.
About a why choose or a MM relationship I like that. Eileen Harris, Eric Jerome Dickey, Quan. I want to add Tati Richardson to the conversation.
Tati.
I love her.
Yes.
Her brand of writing got me reconsidering.
I want the
Got me
author.
reconsidering life. My fifth would be Langston Hughes.
Okay.
And I want him. I would like to really know how he would feel about the state of literature as it is today.
I think
Those
he'd
are
be.
my five. That's my five this week.
Langston Hughes is just, yeah. I want
I
him.
mean, it's more,
Yeah.
but those are my five this week. Next week, it'll be somebody altogether different. But I think Tati, Elin Harris, that would be a conversation. Langston Hughes, that would be a conversation. And who I was struggling with Langston Hughes was Bayard Rustin.
Okay.
For him to be part of the civil rights movement and play the background and be an openly gay man, but try and keep the energy off of him.
Yeah.
I would really like to know what he thinks of
The community now.
the community now, in addition to us writing about it and putting it on print. I would really like to know what his thoughts would be. So I struggle with Langston Hughes and him. So that would be like,
an extra chair.
or I mean, he can bring a plus one.
Just bring one of them long chairs, the fold out ones that's in the back of the trunk all the time.
Listen, I can make room. I can move over. But I just, those are the ones that I think about today. Like, I often think about what Alex Haley would think about Black literature.
Yeah.
Coming from roots to now. I think that would be an amazing conversation.
It would be an interesting one. That's for sure.
But I still think it would be an amazing conversation because, again, he had to buck up against the system to get roots out, to talk about slavery, to getting freed. That's a task.
No, it's a lot, and it's a truth that folks don't want to hear. So, yeah.
Sure. But that's my list. Next week, something else. So that's ready to pop your shit.
Do I have any? Yeah.
So are you gonna come outside 2025?
Not in the capacity of an author. I think I have growing to do. And I would like to have.
Ma'am, you got a book. You have grown. And it's okay.
I know.
Miss Author, ma'am. No, for real. No, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
I understand coming outside with one book, but you have written a book. You have everything.
No, I know I have the right. I want to be hush. Both of y'all. I want to be confident in my delivery. I want to have more strength and to practice, but I am coming out in the reader capacity, so I can understand more of what it feels like to be in spaces. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like that's a step that I haven't taken. I normally just read, like I read outside. I'll read. Look, leave me alone, Nina. But
I'll say that's fair, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
But ma'am, you're an author. You are a published author, and you need to be outside amongst the people so they know who you are.
I
So
will.
will
So
book
I'm
two,
going
three,
to. I'm
four,
going
five,
to. Yeah,
and
I'm
12
gonna
come out.
at not looking at the comments. They're yelling at me. Black Romance Book Fest. I'll be there. I'm going to try. There's a couple that are in Chicago in like September and October. Boozy Book Tour. I'll probably go to that one as just a guest, just as a reader. And then there's another one that is in Chicago. It's like Oakland. It might be A. Lewis. But
Is it Jessica or is it AA?
I'm not sure. One of
It
them.
might be Jessica.
It might be Jessica. Yeah, it's Jessica. It was A who told me about it
Hmm.
last year. But I'm planning on going to that one. Yes, as a reader, we just had an entire conversation about this. Don't yell at me. But yeah, I'll be there, and possibly, maybe, I might do something. It just depends on my level of comfort. I have to, and I feel like the Black Romance Book Fest is gonna be a lot of people, so that's going to be a huge test on how you know I am. I'm around people. I work in corporate America, so it's not like I'm not talking to people all the time. But when it comes to talking about other people's books, I can do that all day. I'm gonna hype you up. I'm show them, talk about them, flip to a random page, I'll read it. But for me, I have to figure out how to develop the confidence to do that, and I don't think that that's unnatural for us baby authors.
Well, I hope that you make a point to come out in 2026 at least 3 times.
Really? Okay. Uh, I
I'm
was.
gonna, I'm gonna give you a pass because I get it. But 2026, I want to see you outside because I'm gonna be outside with you.
Oh, for sure. 2026. That I have that. That's a goal. 2026. Lots of big things are happening. I have like things slated, and I'm trying to go through them. Y'all don't know what's coming. There's a lot coming, and I and my friends plan to shake some shit up. So yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
You said don't ask me that when we talk.
Beauty, ma'am, you gonna come outside too, so stop playing.
You don't have me dimples. They have no idea, So yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Where can the people find you?
The people can find me. You know what? I have a Facebook page. Technically, I gotta use it. It's
Okay, I'm about to
it's a lot.
let me put my hat off. Take the hat off. Take the hat off because I'm about to get in your behind. Go ahead.
I have to get better at it. There's just so many things, and I don't have so much time. And I work full time, and I got 2 kids, and a husband, and 3 dogs, and 3 giant fish tanks. It's a lot of work. But
Where's your website?
the website is booksbyrielle.com because I have that. Boom. Um, TikTok, I have 2 pages actually. One is Books by Rielle, one is Rielle Night Books. Instagram is, I want to say you can find it either by Books by Rielle or Rielle Night Books. And I'm also on Threads and slightly active as Rielle Night Books. Boom.
I can take the hat off. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta reel me in. So the ADHD.
Because I was getting ready to get into you, right?
I
I was
know.
getting ready
I
to get
saw
into
it.
it.
I saw it.
So you have a few projects coming out.
Yes.
I'm excited. You have
Four.
a website. You have social media. Make sure you guys are following her on all her platforms.
And I have some books left.
So I need to go and purchase because I need that on my shelf. Yeah, let me get my life together, so I can get my books because I need it on my shelf. Um, any advice?
Advice to new writers. Um, be brave. Be brave. Especially in the climate that we're writing in now. Um, be yourself. Write a book that makes you feel happy. Yes, it's important to know that it is quote unquote sellable, and that's where actually reading books comes into play. But be brave. And when it comes to, I will say, when it comes to actually publishing your book and getting the finishing touches done, I would say as in advance as you can possibly do, work on your front and back matter. because those are the things at the very last minute that you will forget about, and it will cause you to miss a pre-order deadline or not have it. And those things are just as important. And that's because I forgot some stuff. So lessons for next time. And that's a lesson to someone who hasn't quite done it yet, to get the front and back matter done early so that it's ready.
Some good. That's Jim. That's called advice.
Because we going to forget. Acknowledge who? What's the copyright page? I'm supposed to put my social media in here, and I didn't. And newsletter. Work on it ahead of time. Figure out who you want to talk to. Figure out what you want to say. Because I don't know. That's why it ain't gone out yet.
New book releases.
New book releases. Okay.
I'm just saying those are the things that go on newsletters.
Yeah.
New book releases, snippets, deleted scenes.
I've heard all these things. That's why I was like, okay. Because I've heard all of them. But then
where you gonna be?
Yeah, all of that. And
introducing new characters.
Yeah. Cover releases. Saying interesting things about me, if there was any. But all of those things can go into a newsletter. I just have to do it. Hey, actually, that's probably like the biggest advice. I think lots of us, some people just rolling on sheer confidence, and kudos to you. I ain't got that shit. But sometimes we in our head so much that we don't just do it. We spend so much time thinking about it and procrastinating and trying to figure out all the things that we can do that we forget to just do it. And that's the message.
Write out a checklist.
That's to me too.
Write your checklist out and be like, oh, check, check, check.
Yeah.
And marketing is so important.
It is. I know. I have to get better at it. I tried. I did for a little bit, but then I was like, it's past. No.
It's never too much. It's your book. It's your baby. Until that next book out, you're supposed to market that book like it's your last. I know. Whether they want to hear it or not.
True. Very true.
You never know who's going to catch on.
Yes.
That's all for me. Let me pop my shit real quick.
Yes.
So tomorrow, I am traveling to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I will be the official podcaster for the Boozy Book Tour. So I will be going live with the authors and some of the content creators and readers that will be there that is willing to come on live with me. So that will be Friday, the 21st and the 22nd. On Sunday, Jaleesa and I have rescheduled for Tuesday, so she will be on Tuesday, the 25th of February. I'm sorry, but I thought I would be at my destination and time, and I won't be. So Jaleesa will be on Tuesday, the 25th. On Wednesday, the 26th, we have Cartier. We will be talking about the Good Girls, and y'all hope I don't slide up out this chair and hurt my back because I just slid too far down my seat. Thursday, the 27th, we have Monica Walters. So we'll be talking 4Bs. I'm trying to figure out how she can release a book every month. And there's lots to talk about Miss Monica Walters, Mrs. Monica Walters. And then on Friday, ending out the month, we have Jay Jones. So I need to dig in that lady mind.
Jay Jones? Oh, okay. That should be fun.
So I'm excited to talk to her. So you guys make sure you tune in. As far as events, I will be at the 4Bs March 13th, 14th, and 15th. And I'll be in the Dallas area till the 17th. What else I got going on? My birthday.
March 20th. Yeah.
So I'll be giving away books, a pound books, a pound books. Going up on March 2nd, I will have how you can enter.
Okay.
Into the drawing. It won't be difficult. I'm picking names, but I'll let you know where to enter.
People, or because I know some of them are series. Or are you just grouping them, and then however they're grouped is how many people are wearing?
So I have some that are being grouped. I have some that will be singles. I have a series of Siobhan Latrice books 1 through 4 and the Crenshaw Kings. That I have. While I'm at the Boozy Book Tour and the 4Bs, I might be picking up some more books for you guys. So we'll see what I pick up. What else? What else? So it'll be different. Either it'll be I'll put what it is and I'll pick a name. So that's how that's gonna go. And then that's it. So coming up in March, we have Charity Shanae, Lauren Landon, we have Brianna Michelle, we have Miss Jazzy, Barbie Amore, Cammie. Who else do we have? Bella J's gonna be in March. We have M. Monique, who's gonna be in March. We have Bonnie Blanco. As Storm said, Bonnie motherfucking Blanco. We have her. T-Lynn, L. Kaysen, Ariel Raintree, India T. Norfleet, and Eshaban. They'll all be in March. So look forward to that. Huh?
I have one more thing that I forgot.
Go ahead.
8 Days of Christmas made it to the top 5 for the It's Lit Awards for the holiday book. And I know like the authors that are up there are like some of my favorites. But I didn't want to forget to say it because I would get yelled at if I didn't say if you like this book, you can vote for me until March 1st because it made it to the top 5.
I'm excited for you. Congratulations. First of all, did you know that you would ever do that? I'm sorry, I got loud. Did you think that was possible?
Hell no. I'm not gonna lie, because I made it into the best new author category as well, and the best holiday book. So again, I'm very negative. So when Isla was like, guess what happened? I didn't think I was in that list. And then she was like, nah, all of us. Get the fuck out of here. You lying. So I'm very honored. I'm very humbled. I don't know who knows enough about me for me to even be on that list. I am very happy to be talked about in rooms that I'm not in. But when I saw Britt say that she made it to the top 5, and I was like, let me just go take a gander. Let me take a look. And then I seen my name and I was just like, I cried a little bit. I think Beauty was on live, but I was like half a little bit crying because I didn't think I would make it to the top 5. I didn't have hope. I didn't. It's just, yeah. And I know that
you there,
and I made it.
So excited! Congratulations, my love.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I you know what? You're supposed to be where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Whether you think so or not.
Yeah.
But in order to stay there, you have to change how you think about it.
Yes. And I'm gonna say, my girl Isla, if you gonna fuck with me, Isla is also on the list for the documents for 12. That's cool.
Hold on, do I have my book right here?
She made it. So I'm gonna say that.
Dang it. It's not right here.
I want that book from her hands.
Listen, I got it, but I'm trying to get Forget Me Not.
Let me not. That book, when I first read that, I was just like, okay, please send it to me. Send it to me. I was hot. That man is something else. That's why I was like Malik, but he on that thing. Cause
Like I'm sliding right now, but he kind of making his way to book boyfriend material.
he kind of up there. He kind of up there.
He making it because I be thinking about Hugh.
Hugh is.
Hugh might be lightweight babe, but he kind of stalkerish. Not that he's stalkerish, but he was like
He's real gray. He's real gray. Hugh is real gray, but Malik is just all green flags. All green flags on the play. Like I just ooh, and I don't know.
I'm a little off too.
No, so I don't know if you read Deja Vu by Olivia yet. Hi, but like I was like a fiend. I'm like, give me the next chapter. Give me the next chapter.
I read it.
Where's it at? I need it. He was oh.
But in my heart, in her catalog, Shane is gonna be it
Shane
for me.
is always Shane. It's for me.
Shane is book boy. He's a book boy.
Shane is yeah, Shane. Yeah.
But don't be sleeping on Divine either. I'm going to get my book on Thursday.
Whoa, boy.
I like me some Divine. And Olivia, I will be seeing you on Friday. You and Isla. I'll be seeing y'all on Friday. Even though I just saw Isla on Sunday.
Okay, time to go.
Don't be trying to go now. And so, Beauty, I'm gonna be reaching out to you probably when I get back, so we can get you scheduled for April.
Dimples.
Yes, I'm excited. I got a few people. I got a list of people I need to call and get scheduled. I just closed down my calendar because it was getting a little wild.
Yeah,
it got a little wild for me. So, in order for me to focus on it, I will be probably booked through November if I would let it stay open. So
I appreciate you, and I think that's something I need to say before I get off of here. Is that you reached out to me and I was like, why?
Why not?
We're not gonna do that. But like it was just like I felt really special that like you saw me and that you wanted to talk to me. So I'm gonna say thank you.
Okay, so y'all know as much as I be lurking on everybody's pages, you do know I be looking. And I feel when I see somebody put in that grind and then to be able to have the reason why I wait so long to read people's books and I know I'm going to interview them, I want it fresh in my mind. And when I tell you I was blown away. I was blown away. I was like, look at this girl. Look at this pen. This pen is awesome.
Thank you.
It is awesome. So anyway, I got to go because if I'm going to make my flight, I might want to put some clothes in some luggage.
Yeah, I got to go put the kids to bed. It's 8:30, so they're probably like, Mama.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for coming on Pop Your Shit. Thank you so much, Rielle, for coming on. I so appreciate you. I cannot wait for book 2 because I need to know what this brother got going on, him and Kennedy.
Ready.
And then I am really excited for your fantasy. I'm not a big fantasy person, but I have a feeling I'm going to like yours.
Have you read Blood at the Root?
I haven't.
Okay.
I don't get a chance to read the way that I want to.
I know. Yeah, because right now you're also reading a lot for your interview to be prepared, which makes sense because there are some times where people are not prepared. So I appreciate that so much.
So, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I see so much for you. I do. I see it. I feel it that your names are going to be in rooms before you get there.
Thank you.
And I mean that wholeheartedly. Your name is going to be where when you walk in a room, they're going to know, okay, oh, I know her. I know her. Her work speaks for itself. So it is what it is. That's what the Lord had said to me. That's what the message he just gave me.
Nice.
Your name your name is going to be in rooms before you get there. He keeps saying that to me.
Okay, that hit me real hard in the heart, and I'm gonna receive that, and I'm gonna get my tail to work as soon as I put these kids to bed.
But don't overdo it either.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that. I
You
ain't
gotta
trying.
take time for yourself.
Yeah, I will.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night and happy reading.
All right.
Bye.